so far who are joining us. I'm just going to give you one more minute as well so that your connection is stable. You can see our screen. I hope everything is fine and clear on your end. And maybe we can kick it off. Now we are. Hi, Michael. Nice to see you.
Morning.
Good morning.
Perfect. So I think we can start with the opening. Welcome, everyone. My name is Kaan. I'm founder of Hackquarters, and we are really glad to meet you here because we've done a lot of meetups throughout last 2 weeks. But obviously, for the travel schedules of some of you, maybe the timing of the meetups, we kind of like missed some of the great founders. So while thinking that you might have some questions and you might be curious about the program, we wanted to have another digital one to see and talk to you. And hopefully today will be the day that you will get your questions answered and maybe you are convinced that you should join the program. So I just want to go through the program. This is a really casual meeting that we would like to get to know you. So I'm just going to give the stage to Eva just in a second, but then we will have Melih. Melih is his innovation program. He's going to deliver the program presentation, which is the timeline of the program, what you should expect, and the best thing that I actually think what happens in those kind of programs. We will have 3 of our great alumni. So you get to talk to them and they will also be talking about their experiences so far from the program. And if you have more questions, feel free to ask through questions and answers. This format is webinar. So basically your microphone is not going to open randomly. So feel free to write it through chat or the Q&A section when anytime you have any questions in your mind. But for the rest assured, we are fine. So without further ado, Eva is already here at this Southern Europe Head of Fintech at Visa, and she's been going to a lot of meetings, meeting with a lot of new fintechs. And let me just put this slide for a second, Eva, and let me give the stage to you, and I will be around. Thank you.
Thank you, Kaan. So good morning to everybody, and thank you for making time. So indeed, organizing this digital meetup was a bit of a last-minute tactical decision because we heard a lot of you not being able to make our face-to-face meetups across the different markets in Southern Europe. So we didn't want to miss the opportunity of sharing a little bit more in regards to this innovation program, giving you the information on the program and exposing you to some real life stories of fintechs that have participated in prior editions so that you can decide if this is a program that can be helpful for you. And just very briefly, this program has been going on for 5 years. Over the last couple of years, we've had gradual countries being introduced into the program. So Spain a couple of years ago, Italy, Malta, and Portugal also came on board last year. So now we're in a little bit of a stable year in 2024, in which with the 7 onboarded markets, we're very much looking forward to delivering better value for you, better value for clients and partners who are super excited to see who are the selected fintechs this year. And maybe I just wanted to share with you why we are doing this out of the Visa side, because Melih is going to tell you about what the benefits are for you. But I think it's good that you know why we are able to sustain our commitment over such long period of time and with no foreseen date to discontinue this program, because we think it's generating so much value for the ecosystem. Basically, we see tremendous value in accelerating innovation. We know how hard it is to get doors opening quickly for you. And we actually think that the best way we can help startups is by facilitating business. Of course, there's great opportunities to be more visible. There's great opportunities to be introduced to investors and training, as Melih will explain later. But the main objective of this program compared to other programs, and there is a cost of opportunity in choosing a program to apply to for you, definitely is trying to enable business opportunities to fuel the growth of your business. So we're very much looking forward to fintechs and let's say tech startups that are directly or indirectly connecting to the payments ecosystem. Melih is going to cover the different themes that we're after. We're very much looking forward to solving any questions that you have, and I'm very much looking forward to welcoming you in within the application window, which ends March 4th, next Monday. So thank you very much. And I hope when you guys enjoy the session and it's useful for you. So I'll pass it over to Meli, who's gonna run you through the program details. Meli coordinates the program for the 7 markets, so he knows his stuff quite well. Also, just wanted, before I pass it over to him, is you've seen Kaan at the very beginning of this webinar greeting you. Hackquarters, Vitality, and also 11 are let's say the umbrella program managers that are helping us deliver this initiative across the different markets, but also across the local markets. We do have extremely valuable partners like Endeavor, Fintech Solutions, Finnovating, and Fintech District. So we're very thankful to have them around today as well, and we look forward as well to see them contribute and supporting you in the journey. So best of luck, and over to you, Meli.
Eva, thank you so much for the perfect intro. Hi everyone, I'm the Meli. Basically, I'm part of business development fintech team in Southern Europe, Visa, and I have the pleasure to supervise the program in 7 markets of Southern Europe. I will try to give you a casual, more than a brief overview of the program, what it is, what it proposes to you, and how it can add value to your business. So basically, this is me. In short, Visa Innovation Program is a collaboration platform for fintech companies and Visa's partners. Back then, let's say starting from 2015, everyone was discussing about what will happen between banks and fintechs. Will they compete? Will they partner? So Visa Innovation Program born approximately around 2019 as a proposition to this. We want to bring together the innovation of fintechs to Visa's clients, meaning banks, e-money institutions, large corporates. So basically, we want to fuel the growth of fintechs through these partnerships. And it says spanning across Southern Europe, the program basically targeted as fintechs, but more than fintechs, technology companies that has some relations to payments that wants to do business in Italy, Portugal, Spain, Greece, Cyprus, Malta, and Turkey. So moving ahead, as Eva mentioned, we have program managers and local ecosystem partners that helps us execute the program in these countries. So as you met with Kaan, and Hackquarters by Tenity manages the program in Spain, Portugal, Italy, and Turkey. On the other hand, 11 manages the program in Greece, Cyprus, and Malta with the help of our local ecosystem partners to reach out to more fintechs, more program partners, meaning again, banks, e-money institutions, financial institutions, and non-financial institutions in terms of corporates. So the value proposition, basically the main objective of the program is proof of concepts or partnerships. We try to select the startups that has the highest potential to partner with a Visa partner in the shortest amount of time and create value for them and unlock business development opportunities for our partners. And by doing this, the fintech companies have the chance to access to new markets, new clients, mentors, Visa executives. We organize training and mentorship sessions. So basically you gain an international exposure, and through the networks of our program partners, Hackquarters and 11, you will be into the selected fintechs will be introduced to venture capitals and investors. So briefly looking at program building blocks, the main target, as mentioned, is partnerships. We have mentorship sessions. The selected fintechs, if in case the selected fintechs are interested in expanding to new markets, we are also trying to facilitate this and try to find connections in markets around Southern Europe. So this is mainly all around the program and its value proposition. Let me walk you through the steps of the program. So at each year, we define some themes around the program. And The teams are mainly addressing the global objectives of Visa. And of course, we take into consideration of the target segments, main focus areas of our clients. Then we start scouting with our program managers, try to find the best fits for the program. Then we organize the open call where startup companies apply to our program like we are doing now. Then once we organize these meetups, the online ones and as requested, the face-to-face ones, we shortlist some of the applicants and they present their businesses during a selection day to a committee. Consists of Visa executives, our partners, banks, EMIs. Kaan, could you please take control and
Yes,
move back to
I
the
know.
slides because I
Yeah,
cannot go back.
this is what I realized. Would you like to stay in this one or the one before?
Yeah, this one.
Perfect.
So during the selection days, the shortlisted companies provide their businesses and value proposition and why they should be selected for the program to Visa executives and an advisory board of program partners. And then at most a day later, this year it will happen in March, we will be selecting the fintechs of this year. Once we have the selections, we will start the program. Next slide, please. Once we select the fintechs, we will organize the kickoff event. Kickoff event is basically the first time that we introduce our selected fintechs on stage to program partners to initiate basically POC partnership conversations. Since the program is also dispersed across 7 markets, we want to initiate cross-border collaboration as well. So we will be sharing documentation to program partners of the selected fintechs across all markets to facilitate cross-border collaboration. After that, during a period of 6 to 9 months, there will be meetings with Visa, trainings and mentorship sessions, partnerships and POC meetings with program partners, and follow-up meetings with Visa team as well. At the end of this period, we will organize the Visa Innovation Program Summit in all countries, where we'll basically celebrate the achievements of 2024 edition in terms of partnerships, funding opportunities, collaborations, and so on and so forth. I mentioned about the teams. So these are the teams of this year. Of course, as you can imagine, AI, and since we are a payment company, next generation payment experiences is one of them. Embedded finance and commerce empowerment is the second one. Money movement flows is the third one. And lastly, as we want to contribute to a better future, sustainable and inclusive future is our fourth team for this year. You doesn't have to, let's say, targeting one of these teams as a focus point, but the applicants are expected to at least touch upon these topics. So your business should have at least some relation to these topics. As a summary, this is basically the map of Visa Innovation Program. As Visa, we bring together the fintech companies, the startups with program managers, program partners. These program partners are banks, merchants, e-commerce platforms, telecom companies, and the accelerators of other financial institutions. So basically, financial institutions and non-financial institutions at one side to be elevated with the innovations of fintechs with the help of program managers and local ecosystem partners. And of course, we have a pool of mentors and investors with the help of our program managers. I touched upon the POCs, partnerships, And we can have a look at what do we mean by POC or partnership. As you can see, you are seeing some examples of POCs on the screen. So the Visa Innovation Program is not focused on doing business with Visa, and there are various topics that you see in terms of partnerships at here. So Divilo, first year Spanish fintech, managed to convert POS terminals into softPOS for Visa clients to enable payment acceptance. Olivoli is basically a fintech as a service infrastructure company. They started card issuance for university students through the help of a BIN sponsor. Coverflex is helping companies for their employee benefits support. My team is working on cash displacement for our payments for sports clubs. Moveo is engaging into AI-powered chatbot, and they managed to complete 2 successful POCs with 2 Visa clients. Loyale is working on loyalty platform. They have self-service loyalty platform. They managed to enable this platform for the use of, let's say, customers of Visa client. Abone Sepeti is an interesting example, which is a subscription management platform. They enabled, let's say, Netflix, Amazon, Spotify, and utility subscription management. They embedded their APIs into 3 main banks in Turkey. And of course, there are, from time to time, we have fintech to fintech collaborations, which is a common occurrence in the program. Craftgate, which is basically a payment orchestration platform for merchants. Hemen Al Sonra Öde is buy now pay later infrastructure provider. They basically agreed to provide their services as a cross-selling option to their customers. When we come to the timeline, as mentioned, 4th of March is the latest date to receive applications from us. We already started reviewing applications, and we will be, as Visa team, we will be meeting with fintechs as well. The selection days will happen during March, and the program kickoff is expected to happen in some countries March and in some countries April. Then we will have, let's say, one-to-one meetings with the selected fintechs to be able to find out how we can best support them. During May, we plan to initiate what we call Borderless Week, which is the cross-border collaboration activity of Visa Innovation Program. Until December, all the activities mentioned during the presentation will continue in terms of mentorship session, investor intros, in one-to-one sessions with program managers and us. And at the end of the day, in December, we will celebrate all our achievements together during our summits. Here you see some of the pictures from our events, like when you graduate from the program, we are not kind of disconnecting with you. We have 98 alumni up to now, and we get together. And more than getting together, the alumni are continued to be supported by Visa team and program managers to have more collaboration opportunities with program partners. As mentioned, we organize kickoff events, summits, fintech meetups, and of course, on a recurrent basis, we collect feedbacks from our program partners to be able to, let's say, enhance the program furthermore and to select the startup companies that are in their radar in terms of focus area. When we look at the program as a consolidated manner, the program started in 2019 from Turkey and Greece, and Bulgaria was part of the program as well. In 2022, we expanded the program successfully into Spain. And this year, we expanded the program into Italy, Portugal, Malta, and Cyprus. So that's why we are after facilitating cross-border collaboration as well. Upon looking at the KPIs, up until now, we had more than 1,200 applicants. We have 98 alumni, so Visa Innovation Program, from one sense, is looking for its 100th fintech. We have more than 160 program partners across the 7 markets. The selected fintechs achieved to complete 93 POCs, partnerships. They went through mentorship hours, investor intros, and these companies raised more than 387 million euros of funding after joining the program. As a note, as Visa, we are not directly investing in program partners, or we are not promising to do that. These funding is raised by program fintechs after joining the program, either independently or through the partnerships, through the network of our program partners, program managers. Here are some of the testimonials for your reference from fintech companies and from banks across Southern Europe. And I hope it was beneficial for you to listen to the program from myself. Thank you for your patience.
Thank you very much, Meli. I mean, we already have our panel here, Eva, Hussein, Michael, Elia. Now we talked about, like Meli mentioned, the whole of the timeline of the program. And let's talk about the people who already done it, and if they liked it, and if they suggest more people to come. So I'm going to give you the stage to you, and hopefully we will be back together at the questions and answers session. Good
Thank
luck,
you.
I think. Yes, perfect.
You hear me okay? So thank you, and thank you, Meli, for the run through the program. We're seeing some questions coming in, and we'll pick them up at the end as well. But as we mentioned before, I think it's very valuable when you get to hear the story from somebody who has actually experienced it, because we all know how to build nice PowerPoints. You'll probably build better PowerPoints than ourselves. But we wanted to have today some very qualified voices that can talk about their experience in the program. They belong to different cohorts. They have very different nature of disruptive capabilities, but they share the magic and the bravery of the founders. So I have with me Eliad from Coriunde, Mike from Tokyo, and Hussein from Monopayments. I have 4 questions for them. And I think it'll be useful for you to get a bit of the contrast of hearing them sharing on their experience within the program, but also how they came up with their own businesses. So that's actually my first question to them. So welcome, Eliad, Mike, and Hussein. And maybe we'll start with Eliad. If you can share a little bit with the audience how you decided to establish your company originally, and if you can share with us one memorable moment that you would choose from your journey.
Cool. So first of all, thank you for having me, and thank you for choosing us for the program in 2022. We started our journey 8 years ago. In the end of March, we'll be celebrating 8 years of a company. I was a COO of several payment service providers way back in 2014, from starting 2011 all the way to 2015, and had the opportunity to investigate the source code of one of the companies I used to manage. And from there, they were working for their own activities, meaning being a payment service provider. And I saw the code as an opportunity to service other payment service provider with the same fundamentals that they've built. So our vision was to pivot for not being an operator ourselves, but actually to being a service providers for other operators. And in 2016, we had an opportunity to buy a copy of the source code from that entity, and then moving out and pivoting to actually becoming providers. Long story short, we started with payment acquiring, PCI level 1 certified gateway, started offering those services. And over the years, we've expanded into banking as a service, or more backend as a service for financial institutions, fintech, marketplaces, and such. Today, we handle main activities for acquiring, banking, and issuing, all across the 3 verticals with different use cases for marketplaces, acquirers using us for merchant onboarding, financial institution using us for pay-ins and payouts and fund distribution globally, and so on. Pivotal moment throughout the company's life cycle, we've sustained COVID, working from home with 2 kids at the time. Now I have 3, but my wife is a banker. She went to work and I continue building the company. And then actually seeing how the company scale in terms of the personnel. During COVID, we were 5 employees in the company, and by the end of COVID, we were already 10. We actually hired a lot of people that were laid off during COVID, and we seized the opportunity. Although all of the work was remote, I was baking cookies and doing arts and crafts with the kids, and in parallel, let's say, signing up new developers and new sales guys and support to the staff, which was very challenging. And now with the current, let's say, state in Israel, so actually having to be abroad, not abroad, but being called to army duty for 2 months, during that, having some developers also been enlisted, and then seeing how to manage the company from army duty and everything else. So we managed to push through it, finish the year very strongly last year, and now starting the year very aggressively. On that part, it's the kind of thing that what doesn't kill you makes you stronger on that part. And that's it.
You're such an example of resilience and positive spirit. Hope you share with us your cookie recipe at some point.
I've made so many variations of that, things with pistachios and all sorts of other stuff they wanted. There's so much you can do with the same recipe for 2 years, but somehow we managed to push through it.
Absolutely. Thank you, Eliad, so much for sharing. So I'll be moving now to Mike. Mike, if you can share a little bit about Tokyo, also a very interesting story, and one milestone that you would like to pick from Tokyo's journey.
Definitely. Hi, I'm Mike Galvin. I'm one of the co-founders of Tokyo, and we are an embedded finance platform. And we work with corporates for them to embed financial services into their products. So my co-founder and I had actually kind of launched a startup before, and it was a SaaS platform focused on small businesses. And specifically, we were doing things like accounting, payroll, expenses. And we scaled that to a decent size. We exited it to Grant Thornton. But our original theme there was, how do we build a platform that really helps the SME ecosystem grow? And during that journey, we recognized that I think it was pre-fintech in some sense. We started in 2013. So we did payroll, but we didn't do payments. We did expenses, but we didn't do expense cards, all of those things. And we started seeing that as we kind of engaged with all of our clients, it was things like access to financing that were really going to make them grow, as opposed to the services we were delivering. So when we exited that business, we ended up getting pulled in by one of the UK high street banks, TSB. We'd seen what we'd built there. They wanted to see if we could leverage our learnings from that business to launch a platform with them to help them distribute more effectively, specifically financing the SMEs. So we got quite excited, kind of what kicked off our journey. We initially were selling more into fintechs and financial institutions, but as we saw the opportunity for embedded finance, we made that shift, and now we're primarily only targeting corporates. And our reason is that we see now that they bring a level of business data and operational data that banks don't have. So they have better actually risk assess small businesses than banks do. And second to that, they have a driver beyond making money off of financial services, right? The better they engage with their small business ecosystem, the more can distribute all of that. And I think that probably goes in line with big, a specific where this kind of for us all came together, which was last year we won a deal with Mau San Miguel, a beer company, far away from the financial services world. We saw the opportunity for them to be able to build deeper engagement with all their kind of their SME ecosystem, which is bars, pubs, restaurants. It really kicked in for them around the COVID time period when those companies were really under pressure, and they realized that by starting to deliver some of these services, they saved jobs, they saved businesses, and it created a lot of loyalty. Coming out of that, they realized what they had wasn't scalable, and they needed a platform which could really build out and scale an embedded finance solution. And we actually went live earlier this month. And we hope over the next couple of years, we'll scale into several 100,000 bucks with them.
I was on mute. Thank you. No, that's awesome. Thank you so much for sharing. So we'll move now to understand a little bit more of a monopayments case with Hussein. So we'd love to hear how monopayments was born and what's your most memorable moment from the journey so far.
Monopayments was born actually as a product at least 10 years ago and become a company about 4 years ago. And Kemal and I was the co-founders, still we are co-founders. We identified the gaps in the market and saw an opportunity to create a comprehensive platform that could meet the needs of the electronic money and payment institutions and startups and neobanks and SMEs. Monopayments was a white label solution for fintechs. It is actually creating a fintech is very painful. So we solved that problem, and our combined expertise in technology and finance and entrepreneurship is fueled our determination and to establish monopayments and to make a positive impact in the industry. Plus, we saw the new hype thing is the super apps problems about the fintech financial integration and orchestration. This makes our platform to expand very gradually, and it's a moral thing. The most memorable thing is linked to this, and we have won the award of the Visa Innovation Program last year, and this recognition not only validated our dedication to innovation, but also provided a significant milestone in our journey, and it's really showcased the potential of our platform and opened the doors to the collaboration with Visa and in its extensive network to partners, and making a pivotal moment for our achievement and the growth of our company. And it still really helps to our journey today. I'm also right now presenting my the journey, one of my the customers, and they have really successful integration to our platform. They are really happy, and we're actually celebrating the integration part.
That is a huge satisfaction, because indeed getting things live is a much bigger joy than getting them signed, right? So
Sure.
so congrats for your Visa Innovation Program recognition. So I'd love to now ask you guys a little bit about Visa Innovation Program and why you chose to participate originally, basically what you were looking for, and maybe I'll start with Elliot again. So we'd love to hear, what is it that you were looking for, why you decided to join, and what was your journey during the 6 months of the program?
So as a bootstrap company that's been around for a while, when we joined the program, we were looking for the exposure on one hand, but then to straighten the relationship with Visa, because we work with all the schemes as a payment gateway, among other things that we do. And then for us, being in the program exposed us to different mentors, different industry leaders on that part, and different POC partners and potential clients when it came to the Greek market on that part. We are a Cypriot-based company, although living in Israel, but still being a part of the program in Greece gave us the opportunity and the visibility in the local market. Let's see. Fast forward to the end of the program. During the program, we got a chance to present to several retailers in the local market and start relationships with them, straighten our relationship with the Visa team, both in Tel Aviv and in different parts of the world, which was very exciting. We've investigated and looked into integrations to different Visa services during that period of time. But I think the Israeli team helped us a lot during the process also, before entering the program, but during the program itself gave us the opening to discuss other potential corporations on that part, which was the biggest benefit on that part. One of the mentors, Pavel from Seven Security, which was a mentor regarding PCI, actually we switched over from our current QSA, my previous QSA, I can say, to Pavel and 7SAC, and finished our PCI certification for the first time, level 4, which was the new version coming in, let's say version 4, level 1, version 4, which was a huge project for us. Took almost 4 months during the migration because version 4 is much more advanced in details, and giving that opportunity to meet Pavel and having that discussion during a mentorship session that he done to the entire cohort was actually an opportunity to see a professional that we can work with. And that was one of the best things that took place from the program, working with a mentor, but technically becoming a provider of ours during that relationship. I think the exposure, putting us on the map in Greece, that although have family ties in Greece, but never had any client from there. Now we have clients in Greece that came from the program and from the exposure the program gave us after the fact.
That's awesome. Thank you. Thank you so much. So I'll ask the same question to Mike. Why did you decide to join Visa? We have been talking for a while, right? Because we had the opportunity, based on your Spanish operations, though you're headquartered in the UK, we had the opportunity to speak with you prior to you joining the program. But what were you looking for in the program, and how was your experience over the 6 months of it?
Yeah, so I think probably a few. So one, I think we kind of fall into this camp of we're not, a direct issuer of Visa products, but almost all of our client solutions include Visa. And I think probably one of the first things, and this is a bit of a thanks to you, Eva, this really look at how we build a tighter relationship, even though we weren't maybe a perfect fit for what Visa had partnered with before. And that continued kind of working through that. And I think it's been super helpful for us. It's helped us see the level of effort and the commitment Visa makes when they see a good opportunity for partnership. And then I also think, as we looked at the program and where kind of one of the big areas where we saw the opportunity with Visa is, obviously Visa has a lot more than cards and issuing. There are a range of products from open banking to acquiring-based solutions to international payments, all these things. And for us, we have effectively a marketplace, and we connect into a lot of different solutions like this. So we saw, deepening our relationship with Visa as a key enabler of our growth. And during the proved to be that we've expanded our relationships with Visa. We'll be announcing a partnership soon. We're building out, like I said, across Spain, UK, across the different product verticals, all those relationships, and we see a very strong path going forward. And then I think as part of the team, I think the Visa Innovation Program is really different than a lot of programs out there in the fact that they put a specific focus in your product. They make super high quality introductions to the right stakeholders, which help you either develop out concepts or develop longer term client relationships. And we've been in some nice programs today, but no program has yet managed to deliver on the commercial opportunity the innovation program has. And I think that's alone is a reason to join, but there's a range of other reasons.
Thank you, Mike. And I think to the point that you're making, Tokyo indeed has taught us a lot in the sense that it is a bit of a strange animal for us in terms of the type of players that we tend to cooperate with. So we've learned a lot along the way as a company as well in finding the right way to fit our agendas, as well as supporting you guys in the commercial expansion. But thank you so much for sharing. So I'm actually going to wrap up with Hussein. I'm very keen to hear why you decided to apply for Visa Innovation in the first place, and what was the journey like for you during your cohort and prior to receiving your award?
It is almost same reasons that Elliot and Michael is mentioned.
That's the problem with being last, right? You kind of have to agree with the prior two.
But I want to give a different perspective about why we are in the program, because our product is at least 10 years old, and still we add a lot of features and different needs. But the collaboration model of the Visa Innovation Program is aligned with our goals of testing and refining our products. And it is while we are in the game and the market, and we need to see different use cases with different partners. And Visa Innovation Program is a great opportunity to connect those partners. And if you have a product that needs to be tested in real world examples, this program is very good for any kind of company. You don't scare about if you are a new company or an old company, don't scare because this program is very cooperative
Friendly.
model. Helpful, and plus it is enjoyable because as monopayments, first of all, we never think that we become a Visa ready. We have a Visa ready product, but Visa Direct solution is implemented our site, and so we maybe become a Visa partner in the future. And this was the biggest actually opportunity to monopayments. We test our product in real world examples and different use cases and very large scale partners. And still Visa is all hands or on our demos and partners. They really helpful for everything.
Thank you, Hussein. And yes, we look very much forward to partnering in many different ways that we can think of along the way as well. Because also for you guys to know, once you go through the program, well, you don't leave the Visa Innovation Program family, you become part of our alumni. And I think also exiting the pandemic was not ideal for face-to-face encounters. I actually saw a question in regards to meeting face-to-face. So we look forward to much closer engagement in the full physical world with you guys along the way and continuing learning from you as well, because we've learned a lot from you guys in your participation in the program. So I wanted to thank the three of you. So Eliad, thank you so much from Coriander, Mike from Tokyo, and Hussein, thank you for joining us today from Monopayments. And I'm going to pass it over to Kaan. I know we have a few questions potentially, but guys, thank you so much for joining us and sharing your experience. Picking up some of the questions that we have in the Q&A. So I saw a question earlier around the origin of application. So one important thing maybe to clarify. So this is a program that is launching in 7 different markets, and they are considered in themselves kind of local editions. So Spain and Portugal is a shared edition. Cyprus, Malta, and Greece also share an edition, and I think you can apply per market, but basically it runs like a consistent edition as well. The reality is it doesn't matter where you are headquartered as long as you're commercially ready for the market that you choose to launch into. So we would recommend launching in that one market out of the markets that are within the program in which you have the greatest interest to grow and develop. However, also as Meli was mentioning before, we are every year evolving the way in which we articulate the exposure of each local cohort to POC partners from the rest of the geographies. And most of the players that are participating from the fintech side in our program, they tend to have pretty, let's say, geo-agnostic capabilities. So this is opening up very interesting conversations as well for you to be able to connect with corporates, financial or non-financial, in different markets aside from the one in which you applied. What is very important, and Meli was mentioning before, is we are looking after high potential of cooperating. So you might have an amazing business model, but if during the shortlisting and selection period, we identify players for which the demand is high on the corporate side, and there's a greater potential for cooperation, we will lean on those because it's really the objective of the program, and potentially with lower potential for cooperating, maybe this is not the best program for you, even if your business model is awesome, great, and super promising, or already delivering on the promise. So I have that one question there. I don't know, Kaan, if you are connected already.
He's not at the moment.
Okay.
Let's move forward with the questions, Eva. I think we have 2 more questions.
Yeah. So I'm seeing one in regards to fiat and USDT. the reality is that because we're talking about opportunities to cooperate locally, definitely us as a company, we are working from the digital currency perspective, running pilots from an acceptance perspective and everything. But when it comes to Visa Innovation Program, the appetite for this space is very much based on the appetite from our banks and non-banks to explore and to test and deploy. The reality is that at the moment, even though this is definitely a category that we're very keen to explore, most recently in the last couple of editions, potentially there's not been such great interest in cooperating because there was not such an immediate need. It is definitely a very hot topic, and we look forward to welcoming you into the application window, but ultimately it will depend on the urgency to explore collaboration from our partners and clients. So I see another big question. Sorry, good day. Thank you guys for the details. To offer an AI solution not directly related to payment in money or other financial support, but can be used. Visa partner help companies to improve their business efficiency. So it's a really good question. Fintech is has boundaries around the concept of it, which are getting blurrier and blurrier. The reality is that we've had examples of companies that are not pure fintech, and that, however, the capabilities that they offer can be very well applied to the financial sector as well as to other sectors. And I'll mention the example of the Domina from the Spanish-Portuguese cohort last year. They were basically working on synthetic data, which basically can enrich any model and any, let's say, any use case that you can imagine within a company in a very data protected framework. So actually they were not fintech specific, but they were very interesting because they did have a lot of applications to explore for our clients and partners, both in the financial and non-financial spaces. So I mean, we are looking around the themes that Meli shared with you and that are on the website. So definitely, even if you don't think that this is directly payments related, if we can link it to a payment context and it can benefit a financial context, we're very happy to take a look at it and bring it forward to our clients and partners to evaluate if they're keen on exploring. I don't know if we have, maybe on chat, we have something else. Do we have anything?
Yeah, we have
Yes,
two
we
more
have one
questions.
more. Yeah.
So I say expected to cover travel exposure. So we do, I have to say, I don't know how this is going to sound, but this is a relatively low budget initiative. So we do not have a budget to cover travel expenses. We try to minimize the traveling. The traveling that you could expect is definitely post-selection. We do have a face-to-face meetup in typically the capital of the market to which you have applied. And we do expect that to be a face-to-face encounter. We are also planning to have at least one other face-to-face throughout the program that potentially would require also to come to the same city. And then there's the demo day, which is the closing event. Well, now we have renamed it, and now it's called Summit. So at the very end of the program, there's a conference-like event for you to be visible within the ecosystem, share your experience throughout the program, and that's also an event in which you're expected to attend. Unfortunately, we do not have sufficient budget to cover for travel expenses, but so far it seemed manageable, and we try to minimize it and make it efficient for you. Participating with Visa requires exclusivity. So participating requires exclusivity with Visa, no. And also you might have seen in the examples by Meli, this is even hard for us to explain internally sometimes, because we're not looking at necessarily partnering with all of the fintechs that are selected for the program, although very naturally it ends up happening in many cases. And Tokyo was mentioning about our upcoming partnership, but also with Mono Payments, and also with Corina. Very naturally working in payments, there's very often an opportunity for us to partner and work together, but it's not mandatory and we're not requesting exclusivity. So this is not a restriction to apply to the program. I don't know if you guys have any more questions. No. Right. So since I think we lost Kaan somehow, we are very easy to reach. If you have any remaining questions that pop up to mind later down the line, but by March 4th, please reach out to us. We're very happy to respond and provide any clarifications needed. To many of you already applied. We may be reaching out to some of you if we need a little bit of clarification around your business models in order to evaluate the shortlisting, the shortlist towards the selection day events that we will have across the different markets. Definitely want to thank you for attending today's call. We hope it's been useful to you, and we definitely thank our guests for participating and sharing on the experience. And just, you know, remember the date is March 4th is deadline for current open call. Choose your market, hopefully choose the program to be a good home for you for 2024. We look forward to having you, and we look forward to a super successful 2024 edition to your journey and to the growth of your business. So that's all on my side. I don't know if anybody wants to say anything else before we wrap. Meli is smiling. He's like, oh,
The opportunity comes once in a year, so looking forward to receiving your applications.
yes. Thank you so much, guys, for spending a little bit of time with us this morning, and we look forward to seeing you, meeting you, and hopefully welcoming you in Visa Innovation Program 2024. Thank you, guys.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you so much.
Ciao, ciao.
Bye bye.
Thank you.